केवल आनंद कंड भजो भजो भाई चैतन्य निताई हृदय विष करी विषय चदिया सिर से मजिया मुखे बोलो हरि हरि देखो रे भाई त्रिभुवन नाई मन दयाल दत्ता पशु पक्षी जोरे हसन वितारे सुनी जन गुण गाथा संसार माया रोहिले भरिया से पड़े नीलो आशा अपना करमा मुझे समाना खोए लो दासा परमा करुणा पौदुई जना बेताय गरा चंद्र हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. I will read the translation. The two Lords Nitai Gaurachandra are very merciful. They are the essence of all incarnation. The specific significance of these incarnations is that they introduce the process of chanting and dancing that is simply joyful. My dear brother, I request that you just worship Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda with firm conviction and faith. If one wants to be Krishna conscious by this process, one has to give up his engagement in sense gratification. One simply has to chant Hare Krishna, Hari Hari without any motive. My dear brother, just try and examine this. Within the three worlds, there is no one like Lord Chaitanya or Nityananda. Their merciful qualities are so great that upon hearing them, even birds and beasts cry and stone melt. But Lochan Das relates that I am entrapped by sense gratification since I have no attraction for the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Then Yamaraja, the superintendent of death, is punishing me by not allowing me to be attracted by this movement. Hari Bol. Very nice bhajan. Prabhupada ji used to sing this. So now we will be starting with Chaitanya Bhagavat. So we'll go through the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his childhood pastimes, whatever we can cover in 45 minutes, 40 minutes basically, that we will do. Hare Krishna. I would like Yashodarani to start the reading. And unfortunately, if someone has link or anything, because we don't, if you find anything, you can share. Otherwise, she will be reading, and then 9 p.m. we will be discussing our realizations about the Gauri Purnima, and yeah, any questions if we have.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Sanya Mataji, do you have any online link for this Chaitanya Bhagavat? Because I have an hard book with me.
I can search. I'm not aware of anything.
Is
Okay.
does someone need Chaitanya Bhagavan?
I have it book with
No,
me.
I have a PDF. I have the PDF. Which khand
So
is needed?
we will start from the first chapter only.
Okay, so you need the Adi Khand, right?
Yeah, Adi Khand. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat
I
Adi
can
Khand.
share. I can share it with someone who can share it on the group because I am outside here. Okay, share. I think she has.
Sanya Mataji is sharing something.
Is it this?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it is Adi Lalya, chapter 1. Yeah. Thank you so much. Namo Vishnu Padaya
I have the
Krishnaya Bhagavan.
verses one also. Do we need the verses one, or are we reading just the
No, Prabhu,
translations?
we will just read it. All this Chaitanya Bhagavat, it, by Vrindavan Das Thakur.
Okay, no,
Okay.
I meant just like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has written one
I
by
know.
Bhumipati
Nahi, but
Prabhu. We have the translation of that.
right
I have the
right
PDF
now,
of that if that's needed.
You can
I
send me
think so.
the
This
link.
will be good.
I'll share in the group.
Okay, sure.
So
And this will be.
she will read the book actually. The one Mataji is sharing, I think, same one. So there are no verses, just a story form.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Namdasa Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So we all know, just like a Vyasdev who has written the pastimes of Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, he has written this Chaitanya Bhagavat, and I think so he is the last disciple of Nityanand Prabhu. So, and as Gaur Purnima is just coming, so we will read this Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur. I worship their lordship, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityanand Prabhu, whose long arms extended to their knees, whose beautiful complexions are the luminous yellow of molten gold, and whose elongated eyes are like red lotus. They are topmost of the Brahmanas, the guardians of religious principles for this age, the most munificent benefactors of all living entities, and the most compassionate incarnations of Godhead. They inaugurated the congregational chanting of holy names of Lord Krishna. All glories to the moon like Sri Krishna Chaitanya. He is the fully independent Supreme Person. He is the Lord of the universe. He is the supreme controller of all controllers, and he is always engaged in transcendental pastimes. All glories to the devotees of Sri Gaur Chandra. All glories to the ecstatic dancing of Lord's intimate associates. In the beginning, I offer my humble obeisance to the feet of loving, confidential devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I then offer my obeisance to Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. He incarnated in Navadip and he is known as Vishambara. Lord Krishna has said, O Dhava, serving my devotees is many times better than worshipping me. Srimad Bhagavatam's 11, Canto 19, Chapter 21 verse. Therefore, I offer my submissive prayers unto the devotees of Lord before I begin to write this book. By this act, may my humble endeavor become successful. I offer my respectful obeisance to my worshipable Lord and spiritual master, Sri Nityanand Rai, by whose mercy the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu become spontaneously manifest. With 1,000 tongues, we should incessantly glorify the Supreme Lord Balram, because his thousandth mouth has Ananta Shesh, constantly glorify Lord Krishna, just as priceless gems are kept in secure custody. So the invaluable jewel of knowledge about Krishna's pastimes is kept safely in the mouth of Anantadev. Therefore, the tongue that initially glorifies Nityanand Balram will automatically be qualified to vibrate the transcendental pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Balram has Nityanand, is fully transcendental and eternally existent, and he is continuously intoxicated by the nectar of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Whoever sings or hears about Nityanand's sublime character is offered the supreme shelter of Lord Chaitanya. The transcendental qualities of Lord Balram are obscure in the four Vedas, but the Puranas describe them boldly. If a person, after reading Srimad Bhagavatam, is not affectionately inclined towards Lord Balram, he is rejected by the Supreme Lord Vishnu and his devotees. Offenses at Lord Balram's lotus feet destroy all possibilities for salvation. In his incarnation as Lakshman, the youngest brother of Lord Ramchandra, Balram enacted the role of a Lord servitor. But as the Supreme Lord Balram serves himself in every respect, Lord Nityanand's Balram's direct partial expansion, Anantasesh, manifests himself as the Lord Krishna's residence, bed, throne, shoes, clothes, jewelry, etc. Similarly, Lord Nityanand serves Lord Chaitanya in the following 10 ways: friend, brother, fan, bed, carrier, residence, umbrella, garments, ornaments, and sitting place. In the court of Brahma, Narada Muni plays his veena and sings about the transcendental qualities and pastimes of Supreme Lord. Indeed, Brahma and others become stunned with ecstasy while hearing Narada Muni's Krishna's Katha, and for this reason, he is worshipped by all. In the I have also been moved to write a few phrases in praise of the unlimited potencies of Lord Nityanand's Anantadev, and so I humbly request all of you to develop a loving devotional mood toward him. Those who desire to cross over the dangerous ocean of material existence and drown in the ocean of devotional ecstasy should take shelter of Lord Nityananda. I pray that merciful devotees of Lord may fulfill my heart's yearning so that I can serve my Lord Balram birth after birth. Just as Dvija, Vipra, and Brahmana are different names for the same person, so Nityananda, Ananta, Balram are different names of the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. My Lord Nityanand Prabhu appeared within my heart and instructed me to narrate the transcendental qualities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by writing this book. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are only revealed by Lord Nityanand's mercy because his personal expansion, Ananta Shesh, is the storehouse of information about Lord Chaitanya and Lord Krishna's pastimes. Hearing of Lord Chaitanya's qualities and pastimes can cleanse one of all material contamination. Know for certain that the Lord's pastimes are revealed only through a pure devotee's grace. Who can know the nature and pastimes of Lord Chaitanya? These topics are so confidential that they are not even openly discussed in the Vedas. Therefore, I have compiled only first hand accounts taken directly from the lips of the Lord's associates. I see no beginning or end to Lord Chaitanya's pastime. They are eternal and unlimited, and only the Lord's grace give me the potency to describe them. I am simply Lord Chaitanya's spokesman, repeating whatever he desires. I am just like a doll that is being moved by an unseen hand. I throw myself at the feet of all the pure Vaishnavas so that they may cleanse me of all offenses. O my brothers, please listen very attentively to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Chaitanya performed with his devotee associates. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise in irreligion, at that time I descend to deliver the pious and annihilate the miscreants. As well to establish the principles of religion. I advent myself millennium after millennium. It is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam that the supreme absolute truth, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, incarnated solely for the purpose of propagating the congregational chanting of Lord Krishna's holy name. King Nimi, devotees always offer prayers, Supreme Lord Hari. But now I will explain how the devotees in Kali Yuga offer the choicest prayers accompanied by various rituals and regulations for the satisfaction of Supreme Lord. In this age of Kali, people who are endowed with sufficient intelligence will worship the Lord, who is accompanied by his associates by the performance of Sankirtana Yajna. According to the Lord's desire, his eternal associates appeared before him, most of them, including Anantashesh, Lord Shiv, and Brahma, were born in Navadip, yet somewhere born in other places in Bengal and Orissa. Although born in various places, all of these associates met at Navadip. Shrivas Pandita, Sri Rama Pandita, Chandrasekhara, Murari Gupta appeared at Srihatta, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Chaitanya Vallabha, and Vasudeva Datta appeared at Chatagram. Haridas Thakur appeared at Budhana. Lord Nityanand appeared at the village of Ekchakra in the Radhadesh district of Bengal, although he is factually the supreme father of all living entities. Lord Nityanand appeared as the son of Hadai Pandit, a Brahmana and a pure devotee, just to manifest his mercy. Sri Paramananda Puri, who was Lord Chaitanya's close associate at Nilachal, appeared at Trihut in Mithila, Bihar. In this way, the Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arranged that his associates appear in many different places, and yet they met as if by chance in Navadip. Knowing that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would appear there, Providence made Navadip a very prosperous and flourishing town, just so that it would be worthy to receive the Lord, who could possibly describe Navadip's opulence. By the grace of Mother Saraswati, the residents of Navadip, regardless of their ages, were learned propounders of Shastra. At the same time, the people were very proud of their knowledge, and indeed, even young boys would argue logic with senior scholars. Students came from all over to study at Navadip because it was reputed to be the premier center of learning. In fact, the number of students at Navadip was uncountable, and the exact number of professors was similarly incalculable. The residents of Navadip were quite content, being favored by the glances of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. They misused their valuable time by spending money for sense enjoyment and engaging worldly affairs. As the people grew prouder and more materialistic, their taste for devotional service to Supreme Lord decreased to an alarming degree. For the age of Kali had ushered in a host of immoral activities. The only religious activities they engaged in was pujas to the various demigods and goddesses, especially Durga Devi, accompanied by prayers for temporary material benedictions. They squandered large sums of money for the marriages of their sons and daughters, and in this way, the residents of Navadip wasted their valuable human form of a life. Even the so called learned high priest, the Bhattacharyas, the Chakravartis, the Mishras, etc., did not know the real purpose of Shastra. Although they posed as teachers of religion, their activities were generally contrary to scriptural injunctions. Thus, along with the students, they drowned in the ocean of iniquity. Nobody was advocating the congregational chanting of Lord Krishna's holy name, the Yug Dharma for the age of Kali. The chief occupation simply seemed to be finding fault in others. As for the superstitious so called renunciates and hermits, not a single name of a god ever came from their mouth. Those who were considered to be the most pious in society were heard to repeat the name Govinda or Pundarikaksh only once at the time of bathing in the Ganga. While discoursing on Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, so called authorities completely neglected the devotional perspective. Seeing the fallen condition of society in general, the Vaishnavas, the devotees of a Lord, felt truly pain at heart. They thought to themselves, these people are thoroughly in the clutches of Lord's illusory energy, being mesmerized by the myth that true happiness can be achieved by means of sense enjoyment. They are completely engrossed in material existence. How can they be liberated? Although the devotees repeatedly requested the people to chant the holy name of our Lord, they refused and instead busied themselves in the pursuit of mundane knowledge. In spite of this failure, the elevated devotees diligently kept themselves fixed in their devotional activities by worshipping Krishna, bathing in Ganga, and discussing Krishna Katha. Foremost of the Vaishnavas was Advait Acharya, and he was glorified throughout the land. He constantly worshipped Lord Krishna with great devotion, offering him tulsi manjaris and Ganga water. Indeed, the loud chanting of holy name, the blowing of conch shells, and the sounds of kartals, gongs, and drums transformed Sri Advait Acharya's house into Vaikuntha. Other devotees who appeared before the Lord were Sri Jagadisha, Sri Gopinath, Sri Man, Sri Murari, Sri Garuda, and Sri Gangadas. I only mention those who were known personally to me. Otherwise, to list every individual would greatly increase the size of this book. Each of these magnanimous devotees executed his spiritual duties and was only concerned with devotional service to Lord Krishna. Each was unaware of other spiritual identities. Yet they mixed intimately as confidential friends. Wherever they looked, these devotees saw a world that was devoid of devotion, and this made their hearts become filled with sorrow. Finding no one with any taste for Krishna Katha, they remained satisfied by glorifying the Lord among themselves. The devotees regularly assembled at Advait Acharya's house for hours together, and in this way they dispelled their unhappiness. Being very aggrieved to see the suffering condition of materialistic persons, Advait Acharyas began fasting. In the evening at home, Srivas Thakur and his three brothers would begin very enthusiastically chanting of Lord's holy name. But grossly materialistic persons who were always engaged in running after wealth and family matters could not appreciate this. Indeed, such atheists considered Srivas Thakur to be mad. They felt that he would become the cause of a great calamity. For the tyrannical Muslim rulers would tear the village apart if they heard the people loudly engaged in performing Sankirtan. Some envious neighbors said that they would uproot Shivraj Thakur's house and throw it in the river just to rid themselves of him. They thought only when Srivas Thakur leaves where our village become peaceful. Otherwise, the Mohammedans will torture us. When the saintly devotees heard of these threats, they wept with sorrow while appealing to the Lord. Advaita Acharya burned with anger upon learning the news. However, he said, listen, Srivas, Gangadhar, and Shuklambara. I shall make Lord Krishna appear. The Lord will liberate all of the atheists along with you by teaching love of God. If I fail to keep this promise, then I will manifest my four-armed form and with my chakra server of all the atheist aheads. Thereafter, Advait Acharya worshipped Lord Krishna's lotus feet with great attention, and all of the other devotees followed his example. The devotees went about executing their duties, but they felt unbearable grief upon witnessing the futile endeavors of a godless society. Some of the devotees contemplated giving up their lives, while others gave up interest in material comforts. Having lost all appetite for such things, in response, the Lord began to make preparations to descend to this world. By his desire, Lord Nityananda, Balram, the origin of Anantashesh, descended at Radhadesh in the village of Ekchakra as the son of Hadai Pandit. In Navadep, Jagannath Mishra and his wife Sachi Devi had 8 daughters that died soon after birth. Then a son, Vishwarup, was born, and from his very birth he was materially renounced. Thereafter, in considerations of society's fallen condition, the Supreme Lord entered the bodies of Srimati Sachi Devi and Sri Jagannath Mishra. Lord Anantashesh sang in glorification of a Lord, and they heard this in their dreams. Husband and wife shone brightly with spiritual radiance, although mundane eyes could not perceive this. Understanding that the Lord would soon appear, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and the other demigods came to Jagannath Mishra's house. Remaining unseen, they offered prayers. All glories to Lord Chaitanya. Although you are unmanifest in the countless universe, you are now manifest in the womb of a Srimati Sachi Devi. O Lord, be kind upon us, so that we may have the great fortune of witnessing your pastimes at Navadip, your transcendental form, which is envisioned by great mystics and yogis in meditation, will now become manifest before all the residents of Navadip. Let us offer obeisances to the holy of Navadipa Dham and the house of Jagannath Mishra and Srimati Sachi Devi, where you are making your divine appearance. The Supreme Lord remained in Sachi Devi's womb. Then, on the full moon night in the month of Falgun, he appeared. Even before his appearance, the Lord started propagating the Sankirtan movement. When there was a solar eclipse, crowds of people went to bathe in the Ganga, and all of them chanted the holy name of our Lord. Indeed, some people that had never even once chanted the holy name of our Lord did so enthusiastically while proceeding to the Ganga. Because the sound of chanting filled all directions, the Lord smiled to himself as he made his appearance. Sri Jagannath Mishra and Srimati Sachi Devi glanced at their newborn child's beautiful face and were overwhelmed by the unbounded joy. The ladies that gathered around were so excited that they knew not what to do, but simply ululated in jubilation. The friends and relatives hurried to see the newborn child so that Jagannath Mishra's house soon became a scene of great excitement. Sachi's Mata's father, Lilambara Chakravarti, arrived, and when he made the child's astrological chart, he found many wonderful signs. Indeed, Nilambara Chakravarti was astonished to see the Lord's beauty, and he observed many divine symbols on his body. There was a widely accepted prophecy that someday a Brahmana's son would become the king of Bengal. Sri Chakravarti thought that time has come when this statement would be proven true. In the presence of all, Nilambara Chakravarti explained in detail the implications of Lord's horoscope. He said, "This child will excel Brihaspati's as a scholar, and indeed he will be like a reservoir of all divine qualities." A great sage was present there, disguised as a local Brahmana, describing the Lord's future activities. He said, "This child is the Supreme Lord Narayana himself. He will reveal the essence of religion, and by establishing a wonderful preaching movement, he will deliver the whole world. Simply by seeing him, people will feel compassion for all living beings and become callous towards material pleasures and pains. What to speak of ordinary men? Even hardcore atheists will worship this child's lotus feet. His glories will be spread throughout the entire creation, and people from all orders of life will come to worship him. How greatly fortunate you are, Jagannath Mishra. I offer my obeisance unto you, the illustrious father of this child. Your son's name will be Vishambara, and he will also be known to everyone as a Navadip Chandra, the moon of Navadip. Jagannath Mishra was enthralled to hear this description of his son. Falling at the Brahmana's feet, he cried in great happiness. In turn, the Brahmana caught hold of Sri Mishra's feet, and upon seeing this, everyone present shouted, "Hari, Hari!" Musicians arrived, playing upon their mridangas, flutes, shehnai, filling the air with their vibrations. Ladies from the higher planets mingled with the neighborhood ladies, unnoticed by them. Aditi, the mother of demigods, holding grass and paddy, placed her right hand on the child's head and blessed him by saying, "Please remain eternally within the material world and manifest your pastimes." Although Srimati Sachi Devi and others noticed the extraordinary beauty of these ladies, they hesitated to inquire about their identities. At this time, the demigods were respectful, took the dust from Sachi's Mata's feet, causing her great astonishment. In fact, not even Lord Ananta Shesha could properly describe the atmosphere of ecstasy that inundated Jagannath Mishra's house. The entire district of Nadia seemed to be present there to experience the indescribable joy. Wherever people were in their houses, in the streets, or at the Ganga, they loudly chanted Lord's holy name. In this way, everyone celebrated the Lord's appearance, although in their minds they were simply doing what was required on the occasion of an eclipse. Thus, the Lord appeared on the full moon night in the month of Falguna. Was February 18th, 1486, while Nityanand appeared earlier on the 13th night of a waxing moon in the month of Magh. The Lord's appearance gave profound joy to all within Jagannath Mishra's house. Sri Viswarup would pick up his brother and, while holding him in his arms, smiled blissfully. The Lord was always surrounded by relatives and family and friends. When he would cry, only the sound of a chanting of a Krishna's holy name would pacify him. Understanding the Lord's purpose, the people would immediately chant the holy name whenever he cried. Being in a jovial mood, the demigods decided to play some tricks on the people that continually surrounded a baby Nimai. In subtle forms, invisible to others, demigods went about the house. When the people saw a shadowy figure, they cried out, "There goes a thief!" Frightened, some of the people loudly chanted, "Narsingha, Narsingha," while others recited various prayers for protection. In this way, a great commotion was created. A Brahmana priest, having the power of exorcism, threatened the demigods by saying, "You have gotten away today, but you don't know the power of Lord Narsingha." Unseen by others, the demigod laughed to themselves. After completing her 1 month of confinement in the maternity room, Mother Sachi went to the Ganga along with other ladies. In spirit of great merriment, she bathed in the Ganga. Then she worshipped the Ganga as well as village goddess named Shashti and various demigods. After returning home, Sachimatas respectfully offered the ladies roasted paddy, bananas, oil, kumkum, betel nuts, and betel leaves. In turn, the ladies blessed the child and offered their respects to Sachimatas before returning home. As a child, baby Nimai cried frequently. His intention was to induce everyone to chant holy name of our Lord. When the ladies tried to pacify him, Nimai cried more and more. Then, as soon as the ladies chanted, "Hari, Hari," a broad smile spread across the Lord's face. Having made this discovery that the chanting of holy name was very pleasing to baby Nimai, everyone surrounded him and clapped their hands while chanting enthusiastically. Actually, Lord Chaitanya's childhood pastimes in Jagannath Mishra's house were a facsimile of Krishna's childhood pastime in the house of a Nand Maharaj. When no one was present within the room, Nimai would scatter things around after pouring milk, butter, oil on the floor. Then, understanding that Sachi Devi was approaching, he would quickly lie down and start crying. Mother Sachi would come and pacify baby Nimai by chanting the holy name, but would also notice the mess on the floor. She would exclaim, "Who has scattered all this rice, dal, and wheat? Who has broken these pots of milk and yogurt?" No one could understand who had done all this, for there was only a 4-month old baby in the house. Out of the curiosity, many came to see the mischief, but no one could find any trace of the culprit. Some argued a demon or a ghost must have come here, but due to our chanting the mantras, it could not harm the baby. Becoming angry, it must have scattered everything and left. In spite of extensive damage, Sri Jagannath, Mishra, and Mother Sachi felt their sorrow soothed just by looking at the child face. On the day of name giving ceremony, Sri Nilambara Chakravarti arrived, while other learned scholars and friends also assembled, as did numerous ladies. Everyone talked about what name the child should be given. After considering all the points, the scholars concluded that there was one appropriate name. They said, as soon as the child was born, famine ended in the land and the farmers were blessed with long awaited rain. In this way, healthy and happy conditions returned to the land at his birth. This is very similar to how Lord Narayana had previously rescued the earth in his various incarnations. Thus, it was concluded that his name should be Vishambhara, the sustainer of the world. The name Nimai, which was favored by the ladies, was given as the Lord's second name. The name was given at an auspicious moment while the Brahmanas loudly read from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. The assembled demigods and the humans offered their blessings, accompanied by the blowing of a conch shells and ringing of a bells. Various items were then placed before the child, including books, rice, gold, and silver. Sri Jagannath Mishra encouraged his son, saying, "My dear Vishambara, take whatever your heart desires." Sachi Devi's son passed by all other articles and picked up Srimad Bhagavatam and embraced it. Everyone was impressed and said, "He will surely become a great scholar." At this time, whoever saw Vishambara's enchanting smile become drenched in the shower of bliss. Thereafter, when the ladies would put the child upon their laps, they could not bear to put him down. Whenever he cried, they would clap their hands and chant the holy name. Hari, the Lord would then blissfully sway in their laps, as if dancing, and this made the ladies more excited so that they would chant with great enthusiasm. In this way, the Lord engaged everyone in the chanting of holy name of a Lord and on some pretext or other. When the Lord began to crawl on his hand and knees, he looked most charming. The small ankle bells on his feet were very pleasing to hear. Nimai fearlessly moved here and there, catching, holding of anything. One day, a snake slithered through the courtyard of Jagannath Mishra's house, and the Lord caught hold of it. As everyone was cried out in fright, the Lord calmly lay down on the coiled serpent and smiled. The people shouted, "Garuda! Garuda!" while Nimai's parents waited in great anxiety. The serpent, who was actually Anantashesh, slithered away upon hearing all the commotion, although little Nimai tried to stop him. The ladies rushed and picked up the child while blessing him so that he might have a long life. Some relatives came and tied a talisman on Nimai for his protection, while others chanted mantras and poured Ganga water on his body. Again and again, child Nimai tried to follow the snake, but the people restrained him. After some time, the child lord began to stand up and walk around the house, and his beauty was unparalleled. Curly locks of hair decorated his perfectly formed head, and his lotus petal eyes made him look like Gopala Krishna. His long arms reached to his knees. His chest was expansive, and his lips were reddish pink. Indeed, all of his limbs were beautifully formed. His complexion was glowing, and his fingers, hands, and feet appeared to be like blooming lotus flowers. Should I continue, Nandraj Prabhu?
I think it is already 9, so we can stop here and discuss and share the realizations. So it could be whatever we have read and around the same, like your past realizations also we can discuss. So I would like to share. Meanwhile, devotees can raise their hands and speak. So so generally when so like I when I started chanting and all, I didn't know. I didn't know anything. I was during started during COVID, so literally I didn't know anything apart from Bhagavad Gita. I started and there I started chanting. So I never visited Iskan temple also. Hardly knew anything about Iskan culture and everything. So when I went there, so Prabhupada, I know because the books were from him. So I used to read. Then I noticed two people standing raising their hands, and there's Radha and Krishna. I was thinking who these who these guys are. I thought maybe ISKCON has manifested some deities on their own, and so I didn't know anything. Like even I think I attended few of the Chaitanya Chitra classes also initially, but I always had in mind that this is all cooked up. This is all cooked up stories. Later on, when I visited Mayapur in I think 23 or 4, and I was like a tourist with all the devotees. I was standing, I was following regulatory principles and everything, but I was like a tourist. Didn't had any feeling like I had in Vrindavan when I visited there. So Vrindavan was a completely different feeling, and then we started our Mayapur Yatra, and when I went to Ek Chakra, it was amazing. I mean, different feeling, and at the end of our yatra, and then I had some feelings around, and then I thought that this is not an ordinary place, and then I realized then I think Gurudev also visited next year, I think, and then he narrated stories from Chaitanya Charitamrita in our temple, and so then I started, I mean, like looking parallel in Krishna's stories and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's stories. So in Gurudev also, when we started reading the Dari chapters and all, by the time I started joining IDS Troopers Call, so when we always Gurudev used to mention that we were reading a diary chapter where a drunk man used to approach the Sankirtan party, which Gurudev used to take, and he was not able to sing Hare Krishna, that Krishna, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then Gurudev started Nitai Gauranga, and he immediately captured Nitai Gauranga, and smartly Gurudev switched after a few minutes. He switched from Nitai Gauranga to Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that person was having mic also. he snatched from someone, and then he started singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra as well. So Gurudev was saying that. So I just sang a bhajan before the troopers. We started reading the Chaitanya Bhagavat. To Param Karuna Pahudujana. That bhajan is about same thing. That we don't have any authority or capacity to approach Radha and Krishna directly, but only by the mercy of Gaur Nitai Gaur Chandra, it is possible. Otherwise, um, for ordinary people like me, I could not think that I can approach Supreme Lord like that, and this. Uh, I mean, even getting the sanction of doing Sankirtan, chanting, visiting the Dham. So when we visit Vrindavan, we see so many, even Mayapur also, we see so many visitors, but they are different. They are really like tourists only. And when devotees go and you ask them, the feeling is different. So this Kartik, we went to the place where Vrindavan Das Thakur used to reside and write about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his glorious disciples also. They had very few, only selected disciples, not very big congregation like we have today. But even they were very glorious. I remember Badari Prabhu and Gurudev, and we visited Siddha Bagula there, where I forgot the name. I think Murari Chaitanya was his disciple. Namarasa Prabhu, please correct me. I don't have that fond memory to remember everything. So the I think the pujari who was there, he gave some woods from that tree to Gurudev. So this all thing, when I visited Mayapur this time with Gurudev, the feeling was different when I visited, I think, 2 years back, and I could relate everything, and it was not different feeling when we visited Vrindavan last year. Thank you. That's all from my side. Thank you very much. Um Anybody would like to share anything? Please raise your hand so that I can. Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, please go ahead. Namarasa Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So thank you so much, Nandaraj, for sharing your wonderful realizations and journey. Actually, practically understanding the journey of fellow devotees helps us to see the process in action, examining the life. As Srila Gurudev says this line, right? That when we examine the life of a devotee, the words of Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita, they jump out of the book. That's why, we need a person Bhagavat also, not just the Granth Bhagavat. He also says this thing, right? That sometimes there's this thing that um, what what is better than precept? Example is better than precept, something like this is there, right? But Srila Gurudev says both are important. So we have both person
Yeah.
Bhagavat and the
Guru
Granth
Bhagavat.
Bhagavat. Both are
Yeah.
important. So anyway, beginning with my realizations. Vande Ananta Adbhutaishwaryam Sri Nityanandam Ishwaram Yasya Chaya Tat Swarupam Agyenapi Nirupyate. So from your realizations, what I could understand was that you visited with Srila Gurudev. Srila Gurudev is the representative of Sri Nityananda Prabhu for us, at least till the stage of Ruchi. He's the representative of Lord Nityananda. And, it's very evident from what you said. No Gaura, no Krishna. No Gaura, no Krishna. I hope
Okay.
everyone has heard this thing. That one is first no is N-O, no Gaura, no Krishna. And the second line, no is K-N-O-W. No Gaura, no Krishna.
Very good.
So if there's no Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no Krishna. If there's no, if you know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, अगर आप उनको जानते हैं, then you know Krishna also. So that's there. But from coming to the reading that we did today, so many things can be said. There was this line that anyone who could have the darshan of Lord Chaitanya, uh, they will have natural compassion for all living entities. And that is what happens, you see, when we are situated in Samadhya. That is real compassion. He's inaugurating the Sankirtan movement out of so much of compassion for living entities. It is not possible for us to reach, Ruchi directly, jump forward to that level of surrender. I think at least I can say that for myself, but I believe most of the living entities in Kali Yuga have that experience. It's not very easy to jump directly, as Prabhu was explaining that devotee was not able to even take the name of Krishna. It used to happen in the past times of Lord Chaitanya when Prakashanand Saraswati and his sannyasis, they used to refer to Mahaprabhu as Sri Chaitanya. They could not even say the name of Krishna. Mayavadi Krishna Paradi. So one who is an offender or one who is too sinful, they cannot even chant the name of Krishna. That's happened. That is what happened with even Valmiki, Ratnakar Daku. Could not chant the name of Krishna or Ram.
Yeah.
But you see, that's the mercy of the Lord. Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. By their mercy, we can, Lord Chaitanya is revealed, and by Lord Nityananda's mercy, and by Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, both of them, when we have their mercy, then Radha and Krishna we really understand what their mind is. Chaitanya Charitamrita means you understand the mind of Krishna. So many pastimes are there. One thing that we can learn is in Chaitanya Bhagavat, the pastimes, the childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are discussed in detail, in length. And we see that is not the case in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the another biography of Lord Chaitanya. So that's because of Maryada, right? Uh, our Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami chose to discuss Tattva over there in the Adi Leela. And in the Adi Khand, we see of Chaitanya Bhagavat, there's because this is the Shishta Parampara, right? This is the etiquette that if one sadhu has discussed something, then the other one does not describe it in detail. The same thing happens in Srimad Bhagavatam. Since Ramayana has been described in detail by Rishi Valmiki, Shukdev Goswami doesn't describe it in detail. He just gives a summary in the ninth canto. Parishad Maharaj, you must have heard from already Ramayana, so why should I repeat in length, right? So that is there. And apart from that, so many things that can be said from what we've read today. Lord Chaitanya's childhood pastimes or pastimes of, there was a word used, right? Of what? In the house of Jagannath Mishra, the pastimes of young Nimai, the child Nimai, were pastimes of the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So I was just wondering, of course, this can be a little thought provoking or even spiritually disturbing for some devotees, if I say this, because sometimes it is seen that on different levels of devotion there are different conceptions. So if I say that, when we Mahaprabhu says Mama Janmani Janmanishware, I was just giving it a thought. Sometimes when we come into bhakti, our goal is, oh, I want to go back to Goloka Vrindavan. I want to be happy. I want to, go back to Godhead. I want to end this material life. But we see the devotee does not have the same approach to mukti or to, you can say, going back to Godhead for one's own personal pleasure as maybe a jnani or a Mayavadi might have, right? They also want to end the cycle of their repeated birth and death. We also have the same thing. What's the difference? The jnanis or the Mayavadis are throwing away the baby with the bathwater. Is birth the problem or suffering the problem? The problem is suffering. So kick out the suffering, right? What is the problem with birth? So what I mean to say is that when we say Mama Janmani Janman Ishware, sometimes even I have seen this personally. Some devotees get disturbed when we say this thing. That okay, if you have to take birth again, will you have a problem taking birth again? Sometimes we get really, oh, Prabhu, I came to ISKCON to go back to Godhead. I did not come to take birth again. But that's the case. We hear when I had gone to Kurukshetra, if we go behind that Kali temple, there is a spot which is Mahaprabhu's Baithak, where Mahaprabhu had come to meet one of his devotees. And that was actually the location of the house of that particular devotee. And that particular devotee is told by our devotees and researchers and scholars and acharyas. That particular devotee came again as Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. So in his previous life, Mahaprabhu had gone to meet him when Mahaprabhu had visited Kurukshetra. So somebody might say, oh, if why is he taking birth again? Did he go back to Godhead? He had, the darshan of Sakshat Mahaprabhu. Well, for service, devotees can take birth again and again. Narayana para sarvena kutashchana vibhyati swarga apavarga narkeshu apitulyartha darshan. So they do not fear wherever they are taking birth. For service, they can do anything. So we see in the case of Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, when the past days, Mahaprabhu as a child is, um, you know, what do we say, breaking pots, spreading butter here and there, spilling rice and dal and whatever in the room, and then he's acting very innocent and crying. And Shachi Mata is coming. Who is Shachi Mata? Shachi Mata is Yashoda Mai, from Gaur Gunadesh Deepika. And Jagannath Mishra is Nand Maharaj. So would you like to take birth again? Is something that, if and that's what happens. I've heard in the lectures of Srila Gurudev that it's not that in one lifetime, one shot, you can go back, but it's also not a guarantee, right? there's no Shastric guarantee that you'll go back in one lifetime. Just to stress upon that point. You can, there's no problem, there's no foundation, but there's no, you can say, as a guarantee also that you will go. Usually the tradition says it takes 3 or 4 lifetimes, but that will be another long discussion. So I think I should end. I've been speaking since long. Please, Nandra, too, please stop me whenever I'm speaking for long.
No, 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 Prabhu. So nobody raised hand, so you can share, Prabhuji. I think that is most. Many of us don't know all those things, so it is always good to hear from you. So we have a diary chapter. So this is Q&A session. We still have some time. So anyone? Yes, Yashodhani, you have any question or relation?
Uh, yes, Prabhu. Because in this, while reading this, there was one thing which is been said. Sri Advait Acharya's house was turned into Vaikuntha, and even Srila Gurudev also says this. The tirthas in the Srila Prabhupada has written in the purport also. The tirthas is not the pilgrimage place only. It is the place where the Harikatha is going on when the people are listening to the Harikathas. So that place become a tirthas. Similarly, the place where every time the Lord's names is chanting, the blowing of conch shells, the sound of kartals, gongs, they transform the house into Vaikuntha. So, uh, and this what I, just I related it. And apart from that, there was the thing that the baby Nimai used to cry and to pacify him, everyone used to say the Lord's Hari names. So even this, it has worked for me also for my baby Dhruv, that we used to chant Hari Krishna Maha Mantra, so he would used to pacify and he would get to stop crying. So that's
Anybody else? Else we'll continue with the chapter. So anyone would like to read the diary chapter? Yeah, Abhishek, Prabhu, do you have any comments?
No problem. But I can read if you want.
Okay, okay. Sanya Mataji is sharing, I think, the chapter.
So just sharing. Let me. So chapter. It's 12, right?
Yeah, we
Chapter
shared.
2, volume 12, chapter 2.
If it is possible for you, you can do. Yes.
I will do it. Just give me one moment. Volume 12, chapter 2. Special people and special park. Let me share my screen. Let me know if it is visible.
Yeah, it is.
Hold on. I'm just give me 1 second. I'll just quickly. Hare Krishna. Um, so volume
Yeah.
12, chapter 2. Yes, Prabhu?
Yeah, nothing. You obviously just start. You can start. Thank you.
So, volume 12, chapter 2, Special People and Special Path by Nidhum Swami, November 7, 2011. Our 12-hour flight from London was approaching northern Brazil. As I looked out the airplane window, I saw a bright orange glow on the horizon, and I could just barely make out the lush green rainforest 11,000 meters below. in a blanket of early morning mist. It's exactly like I remember it from 1988, I thought. Many things have changed in the 23 years since my first visit to Brazil. For one, I am older now. Back then, I was in the prime of life with enough exuberance, daring, and enthusiasm to pioneer Krishna consciousness in the Amazon jungle. I'm not sure I would do it again. I'd do that again. I thought with a chuckle, recalling my brushes with piranhas, quicksand, dysentery, and almost death. And Brazil has changed too. Then a struggling economy, it was now becoming a global powerhouse. As the captain turned the plane to follow the coastline south to Sao Paulo, 4 hours away, I thought about my Vyas Puja offering to Srila Prabhupada, written just after my Amazon adventure. In forest and cities, villages and towns, repeating your words I roamed, witnessing your mercy as kind as you are, in delivering the fallen and poor. Disease came in summer and near death in the fall. In the jungle far to the south, but your saving grace and Narsimha's maze kept me safe and protected through all. Oh, how happy I am to serve you like this, always preaching and traveling on. As a flowing river remains always clean, I pray to remain always pure. In happiness and distress, in heat and cold, I want to keep fighting on, delivering your message as you asked me to do, while I'm enthusiastic, youthful, and strong. Although no longer youthful and strong, I remain as enthusiastic to continue spreading Krishna consciousness as when I first came to Brazil. After the success of our traveling festival last year, I was returning with a party of 25 talented devotees for a 7 week tour to spread the nectar of holy names all over the country. The long flight finally set down in Sao Paulo. After immigration and customs, I was surprised by a large gathering of devotee children and teachers who greeted me with an enthusiastic kirtana. Welcome back to Brazil, said Vaikunt Murtidas. These children are from Bhakti School, our government registered day school just outside of Sao Paulo. There must be several devotee families in the area, I said. How many children are there? 56, said Vaikunt Murthy, but none of their parents are devotees. In fact, most of their fathers are in jail. In jail, I said. Yes, said Vaikunt Murthy. The school is in Franco da Rocha in Favela. Favela? I said. A favela is like a slum, he said, but very poor and with a lot of crime. The favela is in Franco de Rocha is one of the most violent in Brazil. We started a small temple there some years ago, where the local children would come after school each day and on weekends. Eventually, many of them started practicing Krishna consciousness, so we decided to open a Gurukula. We have had several incidents recently to show how grateful the local people are for the school. Last month, a thief stole a lamp from a classroom, and the headmaster found it for sale in a pawn shop. When he told the shop owner that lamp was from Hare Krishna school, the owner called for the thief, who happened to be nearby, and severely scolded him. He told him he would never accept anything that was stolen from devotees. He gave the lamp back and made the thief apologize on his knees. And some months ago, the wife of the local drug lord put their 10-year-old daughter in the school. She wears a sari to classes, chants on japa beads, and is strictly vegetarian. Her mother attends the monthly parent-teacher meetings. Vaikunt Murthy, Vaikuntha Murthy looked lovingly at the children who were chanting and dancing. All these children were exemplary devotees, he said. They are serious about their studies and about their Krishna consciousness. It's amazing, given that they come from such difficult backgrounds, I said. They know real suffering, said Vaikuntha Murthy. So they are grateful for the happiness they are finding in Krishna consciousness. They don't take it lightly. The children escorted me to the car, chanting all the way, and I was driven to the apartment where I would be staying. I was exhausted from the journey, but I had a sleepless night because of jet lag. In the morning, I managed to join the devotees who had come from all corners of the world. We gathered for a briefing by Jaitam Das and Nandini Dasi. They had organized every aspect of the festival, even the transportation and the accommodation in the many towns where we would be performing. Later that morning, I asked Bhakt John, a local devotee, to take me to a park where I could chant my rounds. If I don't chant, I'll just sleep, I said. And I don't like and I would like to chant in peaceful, quiet place with greenery. I've been on the road for many months. A place in the mode of goodness would do me good. We could go outside the city, Bhakti John said, but it would take hours because of Sao Paulo's congested traffic. Instead, we can walk to a little rainforest downtown. There's a rainforest in the middle of the city? I asked. Yes, right in the middle of the town. It's probably the most expensive piece of the land in the city. The founder set it aside as a place where the people could find peace and quiet from the hustle and bustle of city life. It has remained as it is for centuries. You can catch a glimpse of what Brazil used to look like before it was developed. I'd love to see it, I said. As we started walking, I pulled out my iPhone to make a call. Be careful, Maharaja, said Bhaktajan. Here in Brazil, there are a lot of poor, desperate people who would steal that phone given half a chance. Actually, though, if a thief ever demands something from you, you just say you are Hare Krishna and he will go away. It worked many times. It's worked many times. Really? I asked. Yes, said Bhakt John. The poor people appreciate devotees for their harinams and prasada distribution. Because of that, thieves don't usually steal from devotees. 100 meters down the road, we passed a shopping mall. Let's go in and take and look around, I said. Do you need something? Said Bhakt John. No, I said, but I enjoy meeting the people when I'm in a foreign country. I like to walk around the streets and talk to people. It's a good way to understand the country and how best to present Krishna consciousness. As soon as we entered the mall, a group of teenagers came up to us. Hey, the boy said, can we have our photo taken with you? Sure, I said. They surrounded me while one of their friends took photo after photo. People respect devotees in Brazil, said Bhakt John. We have a good image, and even if they don't know anything about us, they are always curious. A shoe shine man smiled at us and said something to his friend. They nodded their heads in gesture of respect. What did he say to them? I asked Bhakt John. He said, there is a man of purity. And he told his friends that purity is man's most important quality. I turned around and went back to the suicide man. Thank you for the comment, I said, but I am not pure. But you lead a pure life, the man said smilingly. That's obvious by your dress and demeanor. I try to lead a pure life, I said. And that makes you purer than us, he said. His friends nodded in agreement. Thank you. I said, I will try to live up to your words. Is there anything we can do for you? The man asked. I was touched. Yes, I said. Please pray for me. But John and I got to the escalator going downstairs. From the incident alone, I told Bhakti John, I can see that in general people here are pious. On the floor downstairs, a young woman was selling jewelry at a small booth. Sir, she called out to me, may I speak with you? I walked over to her. Yes, I said. Can you give me name for my baby? She said. I looked around for the child. Where's the baby? I said. She blushed. Still in my womb, she said. Is she serious? I asked Bhakt John. It appears so, he said. I'm complete stranger. I said, why do you want me to name your unborn child? Because you are a man of God, she said. If you name him, he'll be blessed. I felt undeserving of the remark, but I did not want to disappoint her. Let me think for a moment, I said. Is your baby a boy or a girl? He's a boy, she said. Oh, here comes my husband. Alerto, she called out. The monk is going to name our baby. Wonderful, said Alerto. They both stood watching me with expectations in their eyes. We'll call him Ramadas, I said finally. That's so beautiful, the woman said. What does it mean? Rama is the name of God in Vedic scriptures of India, I said. He appeared in this world to protect the pious and establish religious principles. That's a great name, said Alberto. Das means servant, I said. So Ramadas means servant of God. We can't thank you enough, said the woman. I wrote the name on a piece of paper and gave it to her. Wow, I said to Bhakt John as we walked away. I've never seen anything like that before. Bhakt John smiled. I think you will find many surprises in Brazil, he said. Really? I said. Maybe even Ravana's treasure trove for gold? What treasure trove? Said Bhakt John. In the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, I said. Srila Prabhupada writes that Ravana was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. As a result, he got the blessings of Durga and his kingdom in Lanka was built of gold. Srila Prabhupada said that historical references in the Purana suggest that Brazil was part of Ravana's kingdom and he had huge quantities of gold taken from here through the tunnel to Lanka, through a tunnel to Lanka. How could we forget? How could we go about finding what's left on the treasure trove of gold? Said Bhakt John with an elfish grin. I haven't got a clue, I said, but Srila Prabhupada gave me more important treasure to Brazil, the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. As we left the mall, a man in his early 30s came up to us. Good afternoon, gentlemen, he said. Very happy to meet you. He pointed to a badge he was wearing, Save the Children. We are working with Brazilian government, he said, collecting donations to put poor children in school. Wonderful, I said. Our organization has a school with 56 poor children near Sao Paulo. Where exactly? He asked. In the favela in Franco de Rocha, I said. His eyes opened wide. Franco de Rocha, he exclaimed. That's one of the most dangerous favelas in Brazil. True, I said, but the local people appreciate our efforts, so it's not so bad. You know, he said, our organization likes to assist any school that is successful in helping the poor and destitute. On our recommendation, the Brazilian government gives grants to such a school. Perhaps we could arrange a grant for your school. That would be wonderful, I said. Here's my card. Please contact me and we can discuss further how we can work together. It's funny, he said. I stopped you for a small donation, but ended up offering a help get big one for you. Brazil is full of surprises, I said, shaking his hand. We have arrived a small we arrived at the small rainforest. Tri Trianon Park was established in 1792, said the sign at the entrance. The noise of the city faded behind us as we strolled along the ferns, bushes, and flowering foliage. I was mesmerized by the charm of the park, almost as if I had been taken back to Satyuga. Huge trees, some well over 400 years old, according to science along the pathway, rose high into the sky. Groups of little monkeys scampered above on the forest canopy, while parrots and other colorful birds called out and darted among the trees. Imagine what it was like in ancient times, I said, when this environment extended for thousands of miles. It reminds me of the proverb God created the country and man created the city. Let's sit here for a while and just on our beats. I turned my attention to the chanting of the holy names. In the sublime atmosphere, my fatigue and exhaustion gradually disappeared, and I felt refreshed and energized. After about an hour of chanting, Bhakt John and I ventured a little further into the rainforest. Parks like this were an important part of Vedic urban planning, I said. I searched my pocket Vedas application on my iPhone for a reference in Srimad Bhagavatam and read aloud the verse I found. Sarvartu sarva vibhav punya punya vriksha lata sramay udyano pavana ramay vrita padmakara sriyam. The city of Dwarkapuri was filled with the opulences of all seasons. There were hermitages, orchards, flower gardens, parks, and reservoirs of water breeding lotus flowers all over. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.11.12. There's something magical about this place, I said. Sao Paulo is our hub for the next 6 weeks. So whenever we return here from one of our other festival sites, I would like to come here again. And I would like to bring you here again, said Bhakt John. When we left the sanctuary of the forest, I felt as if I had re entered the modern world. And sure enough, my cell phone rang. It was Nandini Dasi. Gurudev, she said, I am reminding you that the group has two newspaper interviews and a television program this afternoon. I turned to Bhakt John. We have to hurry back, I said. We made it to the television studio for our talk show with just a few minutes to spare. We chatted a bit with our host before the show started. Tell me, she said, what attracted you to come to Brazil a third time? I thought for the moment. The people, I finally said. As as far as I have seen, the people in Brazil show an interest in Krishna consciousness that I have not seen anywhere else in the world. I see, you have got a quite an intense schedule ahead of you, she said. You'll be visiting most of our major cities. Brazil is a big country. Are you sure you can handle it? Well, I said, I'm in my 60s, but I can handle it if I get a break from time to time. She smiled. Brazil is full of beautiful places, she said. Where are you thinking of taking your breaks? In Trianon Park, I said. Trianon Park, she said. Our little downtown rainforest? Yes, I said. It's a fascinating place. I feel completely refreshed after my visit there this afternoon. I plan to go back as often as I can. Establishing that park was a brilliant idea on the part of the city founders. Srila Prabhupada writes, perfection of human civilization is made possible by utilizing the gifts of nature in their own way. As we find here with in the description of its opulence, Dwarka was surrounded by flower gardens and fruits orchards, along with reservoirs of water and growing lotuses. It is understood that the whole dham, or residential quarter, was surrounded by such gardens and parks with reservoirs of water where lotuses grew. Human energy should be properly utilized in developing the finer senses for spiritual understanding, in which lies the solution of life. Fruits, flowers, beautiful gardens, parks, and reservoirs of water, with ducks and swans playing in the midst of lotus flowers, and cows giving sufficient milk and butter, are essential for developing the finer tissues of the human body. The description of Dwarkadham is the ideal of human civilization. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1112 purport. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for reading the diary chapter. So
Thank you for giving the opportunity. Hare Krishna.
anybody has any realization about the chapter?
Actually, while I was reading a couple of things, which actually, uh, a couple of things came to my mind. Like, it was written about gardens. Like, sometimes things come as a little surprise, or am I audible?
Yeah, yeah. So yes, yes. Please go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah. So in today's class, I was talking about Nandan Kanan. That was funny. Like that is also a garden in Indraloka where people who are looking too much for material opulences and sense gratification, they go to enjoy their time, right? And Srila Prabhupada also writes something like that about Dwarka here. Although that is a Vaikuntha, Dwarka is nothing but our dham. So garden things that also came to again in the same day, the same thing. So yeah, it was quite a great coincidence. Yeah, that's it. And about the finite issue, again, there's one other thing where I don't know why this chapter I had to read it, right? So just today I was talking to someone like when we drink, not today, yesterday, I was talking to someone that when we drink hot milk, Srila Gurudev once said that, or he has written, or in one of the lecture I heard from him, that Srila Prabhupada said that when we drink hot milk, it actually develops our finite tissues in the brain. It creates wonders for our brain, I would say, development. And again, the same line came today also. Right. So quite coincident in this chapter, what I could say. Very well. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, one very senior disciple of Radhana Swami Maharaj saying in the offering to Srila Gurudev, he said that I removed the word coincidence from my dictionary, and nothing happens for no reason. It's all well planned and designed. So even in one of the lecture of Amarendra Prabhu, he was saying everything's planned. That and so like even a leaf moving from the will of Lord. So reading the diary chapter, so while you were reading, so you had a couple of realizations. So it's not coincidence. It is all the energy which flows and makes things happen. A very nice one. I think so many things happen uh, in the life of devotees. Like we have some questions in mind and something is bothering us, and then we suddenly come across any diary chapters or in lecture we hear exactly same thing what we wanted. So yeah, thank you very much for sharing. I think we are almost the time to close. If anybody has anything to share, please share.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I will certainly take care not to use the word coincident. It's all the God's plan. Really, it's not a coincidence, like you said. Truly. And probably it's a sign from God. All of us should drink hot milk. That's why this chapter.
I'll start true. I stopped drinking
Yes,
milk.
I like cold milk, but probably that's why this chapter came. Don't drink cold milk. Start drinking hot milk.
Hot milk.
My kid is saying we should start drink hot milk.
Yeah.
Doctor said, and Gurudev also said. Don't say like that.
Yeah, usually I drink in Vrindavan when I'm Vrindavan. Then I drink hot milk outside our temple. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you all for joining the Trupus call. So We'll close the session. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patita नाम पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव इनकी जय. नमाचार्य दास ठाकुर की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. श्रील गुरुदेव की जय. हरि बोल.